Gopala Astrology channel, where the science meets astrology for common man's understanding. Subscribe and stay tuned to this channel for continued astrological updates. Hello, welcome to Gopala Astrology channel once again, ladies and gentlemen. And today it's an interesting video about Saturn's retrograde movement from zodiac sign of Aquarius or Kumbha Rashi going back to Makara Rashi. And this transit is going to be slow. We are going to see the retrograde movement of Saturn into Capricorn until October 2022. And then it starts getting back to Aquarius in the month of January 2023. I'm going to go into the details of each of them, and we are seeing certain events that is happening globally as we speak. All right, so it's going to be a very interesting video. Please stick out to the end, and then you can also look into your particular timestamps. If you are an Aries Lagna or Aries moon sign, you can look into that particular portion of the timestamp of this video. If not, enjoy this video and subscribe to this channel if you are a first timer to this channel. All right, let's go to the actual video. So I thought of making this video, and I put the title as Saturn Stops and Turns Retrograde. So I thought of explaining a little bit more details about each and every zodiac sign, and also in general how this retrograde movement of Saturn is going to create problems globally. So let's understand this, and you should know what is Saturn. Saturn is always a restricting planet which gives you responsibility. You have to act responsibly. So he's the master. He's going to teach you, sitting side by side to you, and until you learn your subject, he's not going to leave you. So that's the beauty of Saturn, and he is known as the Karma Karaka, or the judge of your horoscopes. He's going to judge your karma, or the work that you have done, and based on that, he's going to give results. So let's understand certain timestamps and dates, okay? So what is exactly happening in terms of dates? How this is moving. So please understand, on the 3rd and 4th, the Saturn is going to stop literally in the zodiac sign of Aquarius. So it becomes stationary. We call it as stationary position of Lord Saturn. So the next point is he starts moving retrograde. Retrograde is reverse movement of Saturn. It's an apparent movement. I'm going to explain to you shortly what is retrograde if you are hearing this word for the first time, if you are a newcomer to my channel. All right. It's going to happen from 5th of June. It starts going back. So if you, I have just put a South Indian format here. It's very easy to understand. Everything is there from Aries, Taurus, Gemini, etc. and Pisces. These are the 12 zodiac signs. Right now, Saturn is in Aquarius. He's going to come back slowly into the zodiac sign of Capricorn. So this is triggered on 5th of June. And then he is getting into the zodiac sign of Capricorn itself on 12th of July 2022. And he's going to be retrograding all the way until 23rd of October. Please understand, Saturn is the slowest of all planets. Its movement has to be carefully monitored because it goes very, very slow. All right, so until 23rd October, we are going to see Saturn going back all the way into the zodiac sign of Capricorn under the star of Dhanus Nakshatra. Okay, nakshatras are the constellations which are working behind the zodiac signs. All right, so Dhanishta is ruled by Mars. It's all about the planet of action. So Mars is all about a planet of action, and Saturn demands a lot of action from you guys. Now, Saturn will, the good point is, it's going to go back to Kumbha Rashi or Aquarius finally after turning straight motion from October 23rd until 16 January. We will see that it is moving and it crosses back to Aquarius. So this is the timing of events that is going to happen in the next 6 months, which we have to monitor very, very carefully. Very, very carefully. I put the retrograde movements in orange color, whereas the straight movement and stopping of Saturn in the green color, because always it is good to have planets like Saturn moving in the forward direction rather than the reverse direction. Reverse direction is something like this. You forgot, you go to your car, you want to drive to your office, and you forgot something, and you lock your car, you go back home, pick that file up and put it back in your car and start driving back. So that's what it's doing. Saturn forgot something in Capricorn, so he's going to go back to Capricorn and try to do that unfinished task. So what is that unfinished task to the whole world? We are going to see that shortly. And we will also understand this slide again about retrograde movement of planets. Retrograde movement. What is retrograde? Retrograde is something like going back. Please understand that none of the planets will never go back in the direction. They always go clockwise around the sun, except the two nodal planets, Rahu and Ketu, which goes in the reverse direction permanently. All right. So what is this apparent movement and how do we understand this? This is a very, very relative concept because of tracking of movement of our planet Earth and other planets. Okay, we can say Mars as an example because it is very easy to understand. Let us say this is the blue ball which represents Earth and the red ball represents Mars. So how do we understand retrograde? So as the movement of the two planets happens at one particular point of time, you can see that the Earth is going faster. And because of this faster movement, you will see that apparently the Mars is going in the reverse direction for a short period of time. For a fast-moving planet like Mars, it is very easy to understand that retrograde movement will happen for 15 days or 20 days or maximum 1 month. It won't go more than 25 days. Okay, whereas the same thing when it happens to a slow-moving planet like Jupiter or Saturn, the retrograde motion becomes pretty significant, and this small span, I'm going to demonstrate this again, this small span of retrograde motion becomes more significant for Saturn and Jupiter. You can see this slide here. You can see the Earth is going around, you get a stationary point, Earth goes faster at this point, and the planet is looking behind, looking to go behind, and then it comes back forward as the Earth goes in a different zone. So this is very, very clear. It's a temporary shift due to the faster movement of Earth at this point of time. And whenever the planets, whenever the Earth and the Mars come closer together, that is where the retrograde happens. For Saturn and Jupiter, it happens almost every year. Almost every year, or this event is likely to happen. So, as we are practicing sidereal astrology in India, so this is very important to understand that everything has to be referenced from Earth. It's a geocentric system. So we are living on planet Earth and everything we observe from planet Earth and the effect of planetary influences happens to us on planet Earth. That's how we perceive retrograde movement. See, whenever this type of retrograde movement of Saturn happens, Saturn is a huge planet which is dealing with masses. All right, it can create confusions. A particular talk on a TV show, some unnecessary arguments can lead into a big disastrous event. Burnings and fightings and many things. It can happen. It can trigger due to certain unnecessary discussions and arguments that can happen. So this is all due to the retrograde movement, because the people, instead of thinking straight, they're thinking in a different direction. They're confused. They don't know what to talk, what not to talk. And that is what is going to create problem into masses. Why masses? Because Saturn represents masses in general. Okay, so it will create anger, hatred, and a lot of things as we speak. We see news channels spreading a lot of information which is really not required, and because of somebody somewhere talk something, it is affecting common man, which is quite unfortunate. It should not happen. All right, so that's the example of a sudden event that can happen. And even this is, I'm talking in this global level, but even in the personal level, certain rashis I'm going to talk about, if they talk, it is going to create problem in the family level as well. We can scale it down to family, we can scale it down to your society, we can scale it down to your village, or you can scale it down to your country itself. So this type of mass events and problems can be caused whenever there is a retrograde movement of Saturn especially in houses like Capricorn. All right. Now, why we see the importance of Saturn, Saturn's movement is this, because it can only give good results in only three houses. I have taken the example of Aries Lagna here. Lagna can be anywhere, but the houses are important. The third house, the sixth house, and seventh house, 11th house. These are the only three places where Saturn can give good results. In the rest of the places, he will give you some type of tests or the other. All right. So in the total span of 30 years of his movement, it's only 3 years, three particular zodiac signs. He's going to give you the good results. So 7.5 years only. All right. So let's try to understand for each zodiac sign how to interpret this retrograde movement, and let's go one by one. Let's start with a zodiac sign of Aries. So Aries will have moon here. Please interpret this from the Lagna point of view. I have put the moon here. The moon is going to just give you how your mental state is going to be, but physically you have to follow your Lagna or the ascendant zodiac sign. Okay, so most of the transit events are going to be understood through Lagna. Okay, that's very important. And for Saturn, we also give importance to moon sign, which I'm going to deal it separately. And you can also watch my video on Sade Sati or the El Rai Shani, or 7.5 years period of Saturn. Okay, but today's discussion is purely from Lagna, and we are going to interpret how it goes with the first house of your chart. So for the Aries ascendant people, this particular retrograde movement is happening from 11th house to 10th house. It had just moved 11th house, and you guys started seeing the good results. You started gaining some money, but all of a sudden now it stopped, and it is going to go back to the 10th house. 10th house makes you work hard, and the result of that hard work is the gains in the 11th house. Okay, so to get your gains of 11th house, you still need to work very hard until the next 6 months. Okay, so the drishti or the aspect of Saturn is very, very significant when compared to the placement itself. Please understand, this is the main difference between Jupiter and Saturn. Saturn, wherever it sits, it's going to give the benefit to that house, whereas the aspect of Saturn is going to really test you guys. It's opposite for Jupiter. Wherever Jupiter sits, it's going to cause some problem, whereas the aspect of Jupiter is very, very significant and very, very important for people. Okay, it's going to be a very positive aspect of Jupiter, and a kind of testing atmosphere for the aspect of Saturn. So wherever Saturn is aspecting, look at this aspect of Saturn for Aries people. It's going to look at your 12th house when it gets back to Capricorn. Okay, so expenses, you are going to have a lot of expenses as a result of this aspect. It is also going to look at your 4th house of domestic happiness, your family, your house. Okay, so the domestic happiness has to be worked very hard, and you have to maintain harmony within your family. If not, there will be a lot of arguments and heated discussions for you guys. Okay, and do not invest any money on the real estate right now for these 6 months, because it's aspected by Saturn. And then it's also aspecting your 7th house of relationship. This relationship can also be with your friends and relatives. It's also with your wife, especially if you are a man. And then it's also business partner relationship. It's other people, right? So how well you deal with other people, you have to take care of this. You cannot be arrogant, you cannot be short-tempered, because Rahu also is there in your ascendant zodiac sign. So you have to be very cautious in dealing with your spouse, and then it will be all right after January 2023. So the next 6 months is really a testing time for you guys. Okay, so of course money can still come, as Saturn is the Karaka of 10th and 11th houses. He is the owner of 10th and 11th houses as per classical astrology. So as long as Saturn is in this jurisdiction, he is definitely not going to deny money from you. Name and fame is still going to get better and better after the retrograde stops. But the retrograde moment, you have to take care. All right. So that's the point here. You can take a screenshot of this slide and then watch out for the next 6 months of transit results. Let's go to the next one, which is Taurus or Vrishabha Rashi. So what happens to Vrishabha Rashi people? So this Saturn is getting into Capricorn, which is their Bhagyasthanam or the house of luck, ninth house of luck. Okay, so Saturn is coming back to here. Just temporarily, you had a relief with the relationship with the father. Ninth house is all about relationship with the father, relationship with the luck and God, higher belief system, right? So now Saturn comes here in the ninth house, which is not bad. Ninth lord in the ninth house is good, but there may be changes in your career and job, very highly possible, because Saturn is aspecting your 11th house of incoming gains. Okay, Saturn is going to see the 11th house. Saturn is going to see your courage, house of courage, the third house, and also sixth house of litigations, competitors, and problems. So you are going to have some competition in your present job. So that makes you think of quitting this job and going to the another place which is comfortable to you in next 3 to 4 months of time. So that is very, very likely to happen, and you will see that in the next few months. All right, so you should not talk anything in haste. You're going to cause problems. You may have to control your anger management for the Taurians. Taurus Lagna is very, very important. You can take the example of Nupur Sharma. Just yesterday news what is going on for her. This Saturn retrograde has really created some hatred speech for her. She belongs to, I have seen her horoscope. She's belonging to Vrishabha Rashi. The moon sign is Vrishabha Rashi. I do not know her exact Lagnam, but still, so from the moon sign point of view, she spoke something out of hatred and got into trouble. She got fired from her job. All right, so such things can happen to Taurus ascendant people. So just watch out for your tongue and control your talk. Don't get into unnecessary anger and hatred speeches. All right, which is not required. All right. So there is a lot of remedy given here in the bottom, in the footnotes here. Please note this, screenshot of this, and then watch out for next 6 months. Okay, Taurus, you have to be careful. Next one, Gemini. So what is happening to Gemini people? The people belonging to Gemini, they were very much relieved from Astama Shani. You thought that problems are over, my health issues are getting better and better, and you thought when the temporary shift of Saturn happened into Aquarius, you were relieved. But now Saturn is coming back. That means your 8th house is getting afflicted. 8th house is all about the bowel movements, the lower abdomen. So Saturn can give you constipational issues and stuffs like that. So you may have to take care of your food because it is aspecting your second house of your mouth. Whatever you take the food, it has to go through the mouth. You may eat some food which is not very well cooked, or it may be a dry food. So that can cause constipation, resulting in the 8th house. So this axis will always be, you have to be careful on the health, and Astamashini can give you a lot of additional tensions in overall social life. Okay, so you have to be very careful. You can see that it is aspecting your job, the third house of job from its 8th placement. It will affect your 10th house. It will affect your second house of family, and also it affects your children's house. Okay, creativity, being happiness. Now you started getting happy. You thought that you are out of the clutches of Saturn, but now again he's coming back. The next 6 months you have to watch out, and you have to take care of your children's well-being as well. Okay, so that's what is going to happen. Please light the mustard oil lamp regularly in Saturn's temple. It's really going to help you a lot. Okay. Next zodiac sign is Cancer zodiac sign. You also guys need to watch out, especially the relationship matters with the spouse, because Saturn is coming back to your 7th house. Okay, your first house is right here. Your 7th house is Capricorn. Saturn is coming back in the Vakri direction. As long as he is coming back here, the Astamashani effect is going to get better because you may get healthier. And remember, you have Jupiter right now in the ninth house. So, but still, you need to be extremely cautious because Saturn aspects your luck. Okay, so it is aspecting your ninth house, it is aspecting your lagna itself. So you will have some depression moods at times. You lose, you know, you like to argue with people and lose your argument, and it'll pull you down in your confidence level and things like that. And look where he is looking at next. He is also looking at fourth house of domestic happiness. Okay, so he is going to cause some problems in the house, unnecessary discussions. Avoid arguments. Okay, don't argue with anyone in the home, and then you should be all right. Okay, so when it comes back to Ashtama Shani again in January, you will work on your health in detail. Okay, but as of now, so your mental happiness can cause some problem, can get into some problems. Okay, so watch out for that, and please donate some black color clothing to older people. Buy a pair of slippers to an old man and take the blessings of that person. All right, Saturn represents old persons. Now, let's get into Leo or Simha Lagnam. So for Leo or Simha Lagnam, Saturn had just entered seventh house of spouse and relationships. Now it is coming back to sixth. So that means you have those people who are single have a chance to get married and things like that, because his Saturn is going to remove his clutches out. And then he's sitting in the sixth house now. He's going to sit in the sixth house for a while. And that can be a good news for you guys back. The reason is because sixth house is all about competition and things like that. And Saturn coming there at spoiling that portion. So you will get victory over your enemies. All right. So you're going to gain. And then it is also aspecting your eighth house of health. Okay. So the bad planet aspecting the bad house is considered Rajyogam, right? Sorry. That's the reason we say Saturn does very well in the sixth house, third house, and 11th house. And it also aspects your 12th house of expenses. So you have to watch out on your expenses, but you will get better dealings with the foreign people. Okay, so there will be a lot of foreign contacts because 12th house is aspected by your sixth lord. So your dealings with foreigners are going to get you some benefits. And if at all you are planning to move abroad, you can also get into a foreign land during this phase of next 6 months, because Saturn gets you a job in a foreign land. Okay, so it aspects your third house of courage. It gives you some kind of challenges. You have to mitigate it. You have to learn that lesson. That's the main purpose of this retrograde motion. So it had forgotten to teach you this particular lesson. He is making sure that you learn how to be brave, face the difficulties, and move on in life. So, of course, Leo people are always courageous persons. Definitely, you have to be facing this situation easily. So just make sure that you do not boast about your achievements and all that during these 6 months, because after 6 months, Saturn in January will come back to the seventh house. Okay, so I think this is a good thumbs up for Simha Lagnam people. So go ahead and do the best in these 6 months and you will see success. Okay, the next one is Kanya Lagnam people. So Virgo. So what happens to the Virgo ascendant? So for Virgo ascendant, it is coming back to the fifth house of happiness and jovial period, right? So it was good that it went to the sixth house for you guys, but it is coming back to the fifth house. So you have to take care of your children, your creativity, and education. If you are a student, it can affect it. It can affect your education a bit, and it can slow you down. Okay, relationship with children can get spoiled easily, and you may become angry unnecessarily on your kids and all that. So please don't do that. It is just a temporary phase of 6 months, and then Saturn is going to go back to sixth house, and you will be all right. Now there's a lot of tensions. Suddenly, the ongoing projects becomes standstill, and you will get a lot of additional responsibilities from your bosses, and then that's even the digestion. So fifth house represents our digestion system and all that. This also gets getting into some kind of a risk. Okay, so eat the proper food and then maintain good health. So fifth, sitting in the fifth house, Saturn sees your spouse, relationship with the spouse. Okay, seventh house is aspected by Saturn, is not that good. It also aspects your incoming gains, so you may lose some money if you are investing in stock exchange and all that. So you have to be very careful in investing the right stocks. If not, just be very careful. Put it in debentures and things like that. Do not take much risks in your stocks, because Saturn is aspecting your incoming gains from the speculative businesses. That fifth house represents speculation. All right, Saturn also is seeing your family life, and then savings. So you may have some kind of troubles in the next 6 months. So just be careful, and you should be all right after January 2023. Okay, keep praying for Saturn. Light up the gingerly oil lamp in any Sani Bhagwan temple near your place. The next one is Thula Rashi or Thula Lagnam. So what happens to the Thula Lagnam people? And the Libra, the Yoga Karaka planet for Libra ascendant is Saturn, actually, because it rules your fourth and fifth houses as per classical astrology. All right, so fourth lord coming back to the fourth house. So there is, you may renovate your house, for example. So you may be dealing with your real estate things. You might have bought a house already, and you are going to renovate that house. And because Saturn is coming back for completing the unfulfilled tasks of your fourth house, so you may build up. You already have a house, but you want to kind of renovate it. Okay, so maintaining the family harmony is also going to be a challenge, because fourth house is all about family, happiness, general. And then do not buy any vehicles, right? Fourth house is going to give you comfort of vehicles, but Saturn coming back there can deny that, because if at all you rush and buy a vehicle, you may end up in accidents. Be careful about your mother's health. Fourth house represents mother, and your mother is likely to get sick during this 6 months period of time. You have to spend some medical bills for her, take care of your mom. All right, so that's it. And there will be a lot of obstacles in the work. That's what is given here. So keep praying to Saturn. Why we say about obstacles to the work? Because Saturn sitting in the fourth house directly aspects your karmasthanam or the 10th house, and it is affecting your lagna itself. And then aspecting the sixth house is good, because it's going to minimize your loans and stuff like that. You may apply for loan, you will get it sanctioned during this period of time easily. All right, so that's it. Let's go to the Vrishchika Rashi or Scorpio Lagnam. All right, so what is happening to them? So for them, it is coming back to the third house of courage, which is good. So it's very good to have Saturn in the third house, because it's going to see your fifth house, ninth house, and 12th house, and then it gives you dhairyam or courage. So you are able to put up your hard work, and sincerely you are going to see the results. It's going to increase your luck, because you are working hard. Saturn is coming back to his own house, and you may have some kind of a communication problems. You may speak something which can affect others, because third house is also speech. Please remember, in a speech and intelligence, in addition to the second house. Right, so Saturn sitting in the third house can give you courage, but you have to watch out for new opportunities that can be coming to your career as well. Okay, it is going to enhance your luck for sure. So the stresses can be increasing for you, and you are going to be made working hard, because Saturn sitting in the third house gives you courage and tests your dhairyam by giving more responsible jobs. Okay, so that's what it is. And you can buy a house or a property that can be successful as well. You are going to get loans, and it aspects your 12th house of expenses. Okay, you may think of buying some properties during this phase. So just watch out, and make sure you do not stretch your limits, because 12th house is also the house of expense, and this expense can be better, because Saturn aspects Libra, which is the exaltation point of Saturn. So this expense can be for your betterment. You are going to buy a property, or you are going to buy something which is good for you on long term. All right. So it's overall I can say is a beneficial transit for Scorpio ascendant personalities. Let's get into Sagittarius or Dhanus Lagnam. All right. So the working professionals can face some challenges in work. That is for sure. Okay, please note that Saturn has come back to your 7.5 years period position. You already got rid of that, and you have started enjoying the relief from Saturn. But unfortunately, he's coming back to you. Last 2.5 years was the last phase of Saturn's Shani for you. But unfortunately, this time Saturn is extending his stay in Capricorn. That will increase your 7.5 years period of Saturn to some extent. Okay, so but don't worry about it. You will see good opportunities because it is moving towards third house. You are getting relieved completely from Sadesati after January 2023, and you can see that your younger siblings are going to progress in these 6 months in their personal life, because third house represents younger siblings. They are getting relieved because Saturn moves away from that, and you can see that they are getting more happier and things like that. So you may even, I can say, the effect on Saturn into your 10th house. Actually, this is actually a beneficial position. So let's assume that the fourth house impact on Saturn can give you some kind of problems in the house. Domestic atmosphere can get into tension. You have to maintain a very good work-life balance here. All right, so you cannot be too much workaholic. That's what is the advice, and the best results is going to come to you guys after January 2023 for sure. Okay, if at all you are into career path, you will see the great opportunities that can come in your way once Saturn gets into the direct motion back to Aquarius. But now, just wait and watch. Okay, so the real tough times are ahead for Capricorn ascendant personalities. Why? Because Saturn is in the peak for you guys. The Shani is in the peak, or Sarasati is in the peak. So it had just entered your second house. It kind of got you some relief in the April month. April, May was good, but because of the retrograde movement of Saturn back to your own Rashi, and he's going to stay here, especially people born in Dhanishta Nakshatram, they're going to face heavy workload, and then for some of the Aquarian, some of the Capricorn people, it can be a beneficial thing also, because if you are a businessman with this combination, you are going to gain much, because Saturn is also establishing contacts with your partners. Okay, so it is throwing an aspect on your 7th house. So it is a kind of a mixed results. With your spouse, you may have some connection problem, communication problems, but with your business partner, because Saturn always is exalted in the 7th house Libra from the Kalapurusha Kundali, right? So Saturn throwing aspect on the 7th house directly like this can get into new business partners and good negotiation. All right, so that's the thing, and your spouse may start getting into more spiritual practices. You may get into a good spiritual guru. So because Saturn is seriousness in life, right? So then you can see that your spouse is into more of spirituality. All right. So overall, I can say that your Sadesati is going to intense more. Please keep praying for Saturn every Saturday. Do not miss the Saturday prayers and lighting of gingerly oil in the temple. So this is going to reduce your intensity of Saturn. So if at all you are changing of job, you have to be very, very cautious. Okay. So watch out for your health as well, and then courage. Don't take too much risks during the Sadesati period. Just focus and keep doing repetitive tasks, whatever you have been assigned. Because changing of job, aspect of Saturn on the 10th house is not so good. It's going to get you problematic type of a job, less pay, and more hard work. So it's better do not stick on to your current position. Okay, the next one is Aquarius or Kumbha Rashi. So for you guys, it had just entered your Janma Lagnam, and now he's going to go back to the 12th house of expense again. So you are having a topsy-turvy game, but luckily you have a very good aspect of Jupiter. I had made a video separately for Jupiter transit, which is in the second house, and then the Rahu aspect on the third house. These two are safeguarding you to a big extent, but Saturn is really going to give you some expenses for the next 6 months. If at all you are planning to shift abroad, you are going to get visas done, and you are overseas assignment, because Saturn is getting into your 12th house of foreign lands. Okay, so unnecessary expenses are very likely to be there. You are going to take loans, and then you have to mitigate loans later on. You are going to get into loans. And then aspect of Saturn on your 9th house. Again, Libra is an exaltation point of Saturn, but its 10th aspect is quite strong and intense on your luck. Okay, so you have to work very hard, and you have to take care of your mental health, and family domestic happiness is going to be challenging for you guys, because it is aspecting your second house of family. All right, so wait for your Sade Sati to get over. It's a long time, of course. Saturn in January is going to come to your Janma Rashi, so the best thing to do is pray more and more for Saturn, especially after the Jupiter transits to Aries. You will lose the Guru Balam, and then Rahu will, of course, still stay there for 1.5 years. After that, it comes to the second house. So when that happens, Saturn will be in your Janma Lagna Rashi. So that is where you will have to be very cautious. Okay, otherwise, generally, Aquarians are doing well now because of Jupiter and Rahu transits, which are in their favor. Next zodiac sign, and the last zodiac sign, is Pisces or Meena Rashi. The people born with Meena Rashi or Meena Lagnam. So you guys are going to have this transit going back to your 11th house, which is good actually. So if you are a businessman, working professional, you are a business person, you are going to gain some additional businesses and things like that. You will get loan sanctioned. It is going back to your 11th house of gains, which is really good. Okay, so this is a temporary phase of next 6 months that will be there, and it is going to aspect your 5th house of creativity and 8th house of health. So you have to watch out for health, but Saturn in the 11th house generally does very well. So you guys just had a glimpse of Sade Sati. You had it like a trailer of a feature film. So it went on for you guys for a couple of months now, April and May. Now the month of June is coming to much better place, because Saturn is retrograding, and even after July it enters your 11th house, and it is going to be much better for you guys. But watch out for Sade Sati. So generally people say that Sade Sati's effects will start 6 months before even Saturn gets into your 12th house. So you have to watch out for tension times, avoid taking any fresh loans, don't get into trap, because Saturn is going to give you expenses when it comes to 12th house. And overall financial aspects will be tested for you guys after January 2023. But this is a favorable transit for you people. You're going to have some kind of restrictions in the relationship with your children, 5th house and 8th house of health. So as long as you watch out and take good preparations for your health, in terms of taking good food, making simple exercises and stuffs like that, we can see that you will do very well in next 6 months. So Saturn is going to be in your favor, and any challenges can be faced well when we have Shani Balam in the 11th house. Okay, so with this we have come to the end of this video. If you have any questions, please type it in the comment section. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. That will motivate me to make more and more educational videos of this type. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.